Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So we are back to kind of our weekly habit here, our weekly series of what's on my Kindle. This is part 3. I have taken some time and I've written it all out and I have it all planned, and trust me, we're going to be doing a what's on my Kindle for a little while. So buckle up, sit back, we're in it for the long haul. But we're going to go through the next 10 books that I have on my Kindle, and I'll let you know what I kind of think of them, because a few have I read. I think I've read one of them for today. So, first one I want to talk about is Sex, Lies, and Sweet Tea by Chris Calvert. I know for a fact this was like a free book on, I want to say like BookBub or something. This is part of a series called the Moonlight and Magnolia series. It is book number 1. So this follows an FBI agent. His name is Mac. He comes home to finish a case. So he's kind of brought back to his hometown that he left for some reason. We don't know why. And he's honestly drawn in to stay to really kind of look into his family legacy. Nothing to do with the case, but he gets drawn back in to figuring out, answering some questions that he has, kind of dealing with the plantation, looking into the history of the plantation that his family had. And of course, there's a girl involved. And it sounds like Mac is kind of, he's really into his career. He has not settled down. No interest in love life. He is career driven wholeheartedly until this girl comes into play. And I don't know, I want to say when I was looking into it, there was a little bit of a history with this girl, but anyways, she's drawing him and keeping him in town as well. So series kind of goes on from there. Sounds interesting. We'll pick it up. The next one I want to talk about is The Selection by Kira Cass. This is the sort of a trilogy, plus there's a few novellas involved as well. So this is book number 1. I don't know why I'm questioning that. I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed this trilogy. It was one of those that was just like a guilty pleasure, I guess. Was the writing fantastic? No, but it was something that, it just very plot driven and very, I just needed to know what was going to happen. So it follows America Singer, and this is a book set in the future, but it is a dystopian novel. Some shit's gone down. America's not a fantastic place to be. And we now have kind of a monarchy that's in charge. So I guess when I'm describing this book, I look at it as Hunger Games plus like the show The Bachelor meet. So there's different, I don't know what they call them, districts, and I think that's a Hunger Games term, but we're just gonna go with it. And each of these districts is allowed to send one girl to the capital, and who is going to be one of the selection of women that the prince is going to date and then potentially choose and marry. So by doing this, you get some rewards and your family gets some help. And so America's family is struggling big time. Oh, and you're also given like different jobs based on your skills. And so America's family, I believe, is like more of a musical family. So they're struggling. So she signs up more or less to help her family. She has no interest whatsoever. She actually has a boyfriend when she goes there. And it just goes from there. The series goes from there. And it's just, like I said, if you're looking for an easy read, guilty pleasure, plot-driven book, pick them up. They're awesome. I flew through that series like crazy. All right, next one on my list is The Nothing Man by Catherine Ryan Howard. This follows a girl named Eve, and when she's 12 years old, she is attacked by the Nothing Man. And as an adult, solving this case has become her mission, her obsession. This is all that drives her. So we have that perspective. We're also getting the perspective, so we got 2 perspectives in this book, of Jim Doyle. Guess who Jim Doyle is? Oh, he's the Nothing Man. So when Eve starts, I don't know if she does a podcast or she starts writing about her experience and her investigation into the Nothing Man, Jim Doyle starts getting nervous because Eve's getting pretty stinking close to him, and the show goes from there. So it sounds so interesting. I'm very interested because we hear the perspective of the villain, the Nothing Man. Like, yes, please give me that. I want to see what he's got to say. So very interested in that one. Next, that might have been like Amazon's first reads, I want to say, is like my gut telling me that might have been that. I'm not sure. The next one, Grounded by G.F. Ching. This is also a trilogy. I think it was also a free book that I got. It's YA science fiction. It is about an Amish girl who is at the age where she can kind of leave the Amish community for a little bit and kind of experience what the rest of the world is like. And she does, and she discovers she has some sort of powers. So that's what that follows. Interesting. But yeah, trilogy, so I'm intrigued. I'm honestly intrigued about that one. Next one that I have on my Kindle is Of Moths and Butterflies by V.R. Christensen. This is also a series. So it follows the girl. Her name is Gina. She is desperate for independence and to kind of get away from her family and go out on her own. But her aunts are still around, and I believe Gina has lost her parents. She doesn't have them around anymore, but she has these aunts. And Gina's quite wealthy, and all the aunts want is basically her wealth and to hold her back. So sounds like more of a coming of age story. Sounds interesting. Next one I have is Beautiful Exiles by Meg Waite Clayton, and here's my historical fiction fix in here. So we are in Key West, 1936, and this actually follows, it's based on true events. It follows Ernest Hemingway, who happens to be married, just saying, as he meets Martha Gellhorn, who is a journalist, and they both end up going to Spain. She ends up going there to cover the Spanish War. He ends up going as well and does some writing, and it kind of follows their relationship. Again, historical fiction junkie in me wants to know more. The next one I have sounds hilarious. Again, I'm looking for some funny books. I'm going to have to keep this on my radar. It's called Tales from the Crib by Jennifer Coburn. And all I wrote down for my notes is we have our main character, Lucy, and her husband have been trying to get pregnant for a bit. She finally finds out she's pregnant, and the day that she goes to tell her husband tells her he wants a divorce. So they decide that in order, kind of the best idea, the best decision to go forward is they're going to stay living together in the same house to help raise the child, still get divorced, and kind of live there as friends as she's pregnant. He starts to date. It sounds, I've heard it's funny. As I describe it, I'm like, it doesn't sound funny, but I've heard it's funny. All right, next one I have, one of my favorite authors. So it's The Last Time I Saw You by Liv Constantine. So this one follows Dr. Kate English. She has it all, pretty much, until her mom's murdered, and strange texts start coming to her promising that more people in her life are going to be picked off one by one. So maybe she doesn't have it all. But Liv Constantine, they wrote The Last Mrs. Parrish, so loved that book. So it's gonna be great. Where did I get that? That one might be Kindle Unlimited that I have it under. Next one I have is Squall by Sean Costello. This one, yes, yes, yes. So we have a bush pilot, Tom, and he goes out quite often, but this time he's making a trip out to his very remote cabin to make some repairs. And either on his way there or on his way back, I'm not sure, I don't remember reading which one, a storm comes and he has to make an emergency landing, and he happens to land in the middle of a petty thief trying to hide from a drug lord, and they kind of get wrapped up together, and it doesn't sound good. It sounds interesting. The cover like has me intrigued, and yeah, I don't even know where it's gonna go, but it sounds good. And then the last one I want to talk about today is Lady Elmina. So this is the book that the Downton Abbey series is based on. So it really is the story behind Highclere Castle. I'm in. I have started watching Downton Abbey. I haven't made it super far. Part of me is like, should I read the book first? Should I watch it? I'm not sure. I have it, so why not? I'm such a historical fiction fan, but I also have that book, so I'm interested to pick that up as well. So out of this one, I've only read one of the books, but I think future Kindle, what's on my Kindles, I've got some more on there that I've been reading. So I'm excited for these books. This is a really interesting series, and it keeps me kind of on my toes as far as what is on my tablet or on my Kindle. If you've read any of these and you want to chat about them, comment below. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye.